Markus gemacht und nicht wie selbst zu seinem Haus, zu Scheide seine. Seinem Tore ein, zu seinen Vorfällen mit Danken. Mit Loben, danket ihm, danket ihm. Lobet seinen ist freilich, und seine Wahrheit wäret ewig, und seine Wahrheit viel und viel, und seine Wahrheit viel und viel. Denn der Herr ist freilich, und seine Wahrheit wäret ewig, und seine Wahrheit viel und viel, und seine Wahrheit viel und viel, und seine Wahrheit, und seine Wahrheit wäret viel.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. The answer is no, I'm not going to sing. I couldn't sing to save my life. Somebody out there, Jacobs, I think is missing the cue. I think he memorized the speech. There's somebody who's welcoming people here. Good evening, gentlemen and jackets. May I have your ladies? I don't think that was the line that was intended. It's supposed to be good evening, ladies and gentlemen. May I have your jackets? I'm sure he may have had a few drinks. Ladies and gentlemen, my duty is just to introduce the person who is going to come to the podium this evening to address us. She answers to the name Babalwa Base. As the person comes up stage, wow, what an evening. I think we need to really give ovation to ourselves. We should. Yeah. I'm sure it's the effect of this month. This is September, Heritage Month. I'm sure I'm getting into the vibe. I'm told that the person actually who's going to address us before Babalwa is Bianca, would, uh, who's going to do the welcoming address. Yes, please, will you please give this lady a round of applause, ladies and gents?
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. And on behalf of Mercedes Benz, I would like to thank you for all joining us this evening. As you probably know, we are the most premium brand in the world at the moment, as well as we've launched some amazing cars over the last couple of months. But for us, being part of the community is incredibly important. So I would like to say thank you to the Township Opera for choosing us as the venue this evening. We open our doors with great pleasure, and we hope to see more of these events hosted here. So thank you very much for joining us. I hope you enjoy the evening. And then I would like to hand over to Bella, who will be doing the final welcome this evening.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Can I try again? Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you. I was just finishing my short prayer that I started there. I'm best at giving a thanks, a vote of thanks. So I said, please, Lord, help me not to say a vote of thanks. After this welcoming two songs we had. Program director, ladies and gentlemen, I'm asked to say a word or two, not to thank anyone. I'm guarding myself not to use this thank you word. We gathered here tonight under the Township Opera Company. I don't want to say it's a baby, it's a newborn, because I'm listening to the voices. I'm asking myself, is this the launch or is this a real performance? If this is a launch, then I can't wait for the real performance. I'm sitting there, I'm looking at Mr. Jacobs Lungile. 2 years back, let me start here. 2000, we started something that we were not sure where it's gonna get to. Voices of Cape Town. We brainstormed. 2001, we started. We said 2002, 2003, we're gonna be launching. We are still launching today. Thanks to him, Mr. Jacobs. Fast track, 2 years back, while we were still planning the launch of the Voices of Cape Town, he came up with a very, very mad idea, saying Township Opera. Voices of Cape Town executive, I'm sure you're gonna agree with me on this one. We said no, man. We are still planning Voices of Cape Town launch. What is it with Township Opera? He tried to explain this thing to us. I was sitting there, I'm saying he approached everyone 2000. He threw the idea. We ran with it. We planned, and all the plans were short, medium, long. But our long one, we attained it in 2005 from 2001. And then we didn't know what else to do. We were still struggling with the launch. Up until now, he introduced one. It was a very mad idea. We told him, this one is not gonna last. We cannot come up with something that is already there. He said, it's because you don't know what I'm talking about. And then I said, is it because he's an entrepreneur or what? Because you don't know them. They come up with ideas, they want you to run with it. We started it this year. The idea started in 2 years back. It started officially this year. It's not even 6 months, if I'm counting correctly. He literally took the baton, he knocked in each and every door, saying this thing is gonna happen. We said, it's a project, who's gonna fund it? He said Voices of Cape Town made a vow to develop, to ensure that music, let's start it from to choral. He said this thing, people must find a way, must find a living out of it, more especially those that are unemployed. He's been pushing that. We said we cannot start something that we're going to live halfway. How are we going to sustain it? He said, guys, yours is to fundraise. Mine is to start it and run with it. Here we are today with his mad idea, his twisted dream. He made us also look twisted, but at least we managed to get where we are. I so wish I could challenge other entrepreneurs not to confine themselves to something that is easily achievable, to go out, stretch themselves like he's doing. I so wish that the choristers that are here are looking at what has been planted. They know that there's a meaning. They know that because when we were brainstorming, they spoke of dedication. They spoke of passion. He came and said, you forgot about innovation. That's him at his best. He's creative. He's also making me look like creative. And I'm very grateful to that. It's not me and him in this. When I'm talking Voices of Cape Town, I'm talking about the Voices of Cape Town executive that is sitting somewhere there. But it's not about us. It's about the Township Opera Company that is proudly initiated by the Voices of Cape Town. Without of nothing. Hence, we said to him, you're gonna go out and knock in each and every door. Each and every door, you're gonna leave a mark. That mark, you bring everyone under one roof. We sell this product. And then you, ladies and gentlemen, will be the judge. You'll judge whether the decision we took to run with this idea, to introduce, we are trying to take opera to another level. Hence, we call it a Township Opera Company. Everyone here knows what opera is all about. We want to see now that innovation, that creativity. Today is not about talking, it's about singing with those words. Thanks a lot, ladies and gentlemen. You all are welcome.
All right, indeed, it is about singing. Ladies and gentlemen, that was Bele. Bele is a clean name. Every Duke and Pell and who's supposed to be here is here. I'm seeing Professor Kobato, Angelo Kobato in front, and Aviva Pelham. I really am humbled. We are in the midst, we're basking in the radiance of the greatness in this art form. The luckiest thing is that I'm on the spotlight, so I'm not seeing a lot of people in the house. So therefore, I'll be forgiven not to mention everybody. But I saw Louis as well. I'm seeing a lot of very important people. And interestingly, we also have politicians in the house. Yeah. Bele said that the name Township Opera is a mad idea. There are a lot of mad ideas about here. Township and opera, isn't that a contradiction in terms? Is there no paradox or equivocation there somewhere? Township and opera. Isn't opera supposed to be something or music of the elite and the, okay, okay, I stand corrected. But ladies and gentlemen, I really have to say we really have to enjoy the ambiance here. Please welcome onto the podium. If this is a traditional praise poet, Imbongi, I should not introduce this person. But if this person is, your formal poet, then I'm introducing this lady, Babalwa Base. Oh, very lovely alliteration there. Implosive B. Babalwa Base, please come forward to come to the podium. Is she there? Yeah, I believe she is. she's a poet, not Imbongi. Because if she is Imbongi, I should be ready. I should be asking you to be ready to ululate and sing some songs. Is Babula in the house though?
I am gathering spirit. I am gathering spirit. I am gathering spirit. I was born in a timeless explosion of stanzas, fed on poetic phrases, fashioned into a wordplay of metaphors. I come and go in tides, bring quietening with every visit. I am gathering spirit. I am gathering spirit. I live in a wordy world crazy within context. I was born in a timeless explosion of stanzas, fed on poetic phrases, fashioned into a wordplay of metaphors. I come and go in tides, bring quietening of the mind with every visit. I am an ardent encounter sparked in a realm not of this eon. I am what the moment provides, the image of sound, an impeccable intonation, a dose of joy, a rise to occasion, a turning of the page, a toast to life. I am the unleashing of irrepressible love, the kind that takes deep breath, birthed by inexhaustible crevices. I am a telling premonition, a day of reckoning, an infinite number, standing at the cusp of something very important. I shall be revealed in divine time. I am the beginning of the story. Beautiful strangers, almost in romance, river crossing toward callings of our sympathetic resonance. With each uninterrupted thought, we stand a chance at getting it together. With every soul sailing, we peep halfway into sunset as we collect souvenirs in moments of things impulsive. We dare not the hand of fate, but master it. Defy odds of adversity, brave faces at wartime, lay our lives beyond resounding acclaim, and so we reprise, taking the plunge. We are the same in every language, beautiful strangers, almost in romance, river crossing toward callings of our sympathetic resonance. With each uninterrupted thought, we stand a chance at getting it together. With every soul sailing, we peep halfway into sunset as we collect souvenirs in moments of things impulsive. We dare not the hand of fate, but master it. Defy odds of adversity, brave faces at wartime, lay our lives beyond resounding acclaim. And so we reprise, taking the plunge. We are the same in every language, beautiful strangers, almost in romance, river crossing toward callings of our sympathetic resonance. With each uninterrupted thought, we stand a chance at getting it together. With every soul sailing, we peep halfway into sunset as we collect souvenirs.
il tutto l'uomo.
Whew. I think we can now breathe. I've seen people holding their breaths. Some of you were doing staggered breathing. They're trying to sustain the long notes that they were singing. It is moments like this, I think, even our crazy former president. Please note, please don't start the next riot here. Crazy former president in this sense. Crazy in the sense that he was even willing to offer citizenship to a mosquito. Do you remember when he was still vice president? Yeah. Talk about crazy. I see in the midst, I'm sure the MJ, sorry, I have to mention these few names. I'm not about to, this is not my business to mention names, but I'm seeing Mr. Josephs, I see MJ. Those are people that are teachers. They may be in the senior positions in the teaching fraternity. You must be proud. Most of these learners would have gone through SASKE. No, let me go back so that I can show my age. They come through the ranks of Tirisano, the Nosisekos. Don't think that she is tall. No, her physical geography is still as it was. She kind of elevated herself with some stilettos. They come through the ranks of high schools. Somebody outside asked me, what do I do? Because I'm here at this classy place, I cannot just say I'm a teacher. Excuse me. I had to, be creative. I said I am, well, an MD of DMT, HS. DMT is Desmond Tutu High School, HS. I'm the MD of that high school. I was at Fezeka for 20 years. Professor Kubato, we really have come a long way. I'm remembering these kids when they had to come for auditions here the first time. Some of them, believe it or not, used to come here singing hymns in dialects that you would never have imagined, coming to audition for Cape Town Opera. They really have grown. I know each and every one of these kids. Yeah, that shows my age, sorry, of these young singers, or of these singers. I'm wiping the young. I also see in the midst Mngoma from the National Choir Festival. Mr. Mngoma, yeah, I see you. Now, going right forward, is at that moment, Lungile, they're having a longish scene change. Usually somebody runs around the stage carrying boxes and shoes and things. Will I get the indication when they're ready? They are ready. Okay. Maybe before that, can I invite to the podium the gentleman that answers to the name Guy Redman? He's not red. It's just his name that's red. Mr. Guy Redman, please don't tell him I said anything about politicians. I said nothing.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Program Director. Jacobs and the Township Opera and the executive of the Cape Town Voices, Mr. Lulu Johnson, MP, here representing the portfolio of Arts and Culture, Ms. Base, who is the poet you saw earlier, but she's also the chairperson of the Western Cape Cultural Commission, Professor Gobato, and everybody here that has contributed to the genius we've just witnessed and we are going to continue to see. Representatives from Mercedes-Benz, Bianca and her colleagues, colleagues from the Department of Cultural Affairs, ladies and gentlemen, ndiziva ndinovalo namhlanje. But not all valo, you know, logoyiga. Ndiziva ndinovalo elifana novalo banalo xa usemtshatweni. Kunguwe otshatayo. Ume phaa phambili xa indoda, ume phaa phambili ngakumfundisi ulindele lo muntu ozotshata naye ezawungena ecaweni. Yalazo lo valo. Okay, asitshatanga sonke apha endlini ne? I'm saying I'm feeling a sense of ntoni uvalo ngesilungu? Yeah, sort of some kind of anxiety, but a very positive kind of anxiety. One that can be associated to a wedding day, your wedding day. And if you are the groom, you are at the moment standing in the front near the altar with the priest, and your bride is about to enter the church. So you have that, your heart is beating fast, you are happy, you are worried, but you are happy. That's what I'm feeling right now. And I want to begin by really congratulating the people that you've seen here today for what they've started. It's very brave, but it's also very visionary. Brave because the journey you've undertaken is not an easy one, especially in the current economic climate, but in any economic climate, it is not an easy journey that you've undertaken. The environment that we find ourselves as people who are in the sector, we see sources of public funding, sources of funding from the private sector, from foundations, from individuals, from corporations, reducing because of the challenge that everybody is facing. But at the same time, there's a heightened public demand for what we see here today. But I also believe that the step you've taken is visionary because you have had the ability to see beyond the challenges that you know you will encounter. The value that has the potential to create an environment where all those who are exposed and are inspired by what we've seen here today begin to imagine an alternate future for themselves, young and old. An alternate future for those around them. And therein lies the power of what we are witnessing happening today. To have a child or an adult, no matter what their circumstances, move to a state where they can imagine. And opera has that power, both for those who are engaged in it as participants, but as well as those who are exposed to it, the spectators or audiences, passers-by. It has that power. The initiative is also well positioned to address other challenges within the sector that we have battled with for many years. That of representativity of content and getting other stories into the space. Aligned with this undertaking, challenging as it might seem, is a unique opportunity to build a dynamic and sustainable community-based and embedded opera. It is only through changing our focus in these difficult times from being inward-focused and inward-looking, difficult as it is, because we are busy counting the cents to see how we're going to survive the next day, but we need to look out and see what is it that the people who are doing this for are wanting from us. Most of the companies are facing difficult challenges at this moment. But when you do succeed with this initiative that you begin today, the benefits will accrue to the broader performing arts community as well. We know that being exposed to and being inspired by the arts opens a very different world for children, specifically children. I know this is an adult audience, but you'll be amazed how being exposed to choir music, opera music, and any kind of performing arts, the impact that it has on children and their ability to imagine. And every child has the right to access quality productions that honor, value, and reflect the reality in which they live. Every child is entitled to feel safe and valued. And in this current socio-political and economic environment, the risk of marginalization is very high. If in their formative years, children do not see their realities and they imagine futures reflected in the world around them, or only see problematic representations mirrored back at them, the impact can be tremendously devastating. So what you're doing here today and the impact that it will have on those who will be exposed to it, particularly those children, I want you to understand that you must create opportunities for those children to be exposed to what we've just seen here. Because those are our leaders, not of the future. They are leading us now. They tell you where you're going to spend your money. That's what you run around doing every day after work. That is why you work, actually. So to try and redress some of these imbalances that you are trying to sort of resolve going forward, you've got to see it as an act of necessity, because it enriches all of us and all of our realities. The energies that you are investing will go a long way towards making mainstream the length and breadth of all the realities that exist within society, and for children to feel valued and entitled to occupy the opera space in all its various expressions. It makes your undertaking an ethical, moral, and because you brought us to this space, a commercial imperative. I don't know why you came here, but Mercedes-Benz, there is a reason why they came here. What you're going to see happening in this space in the coming days is a whole lot of sales, not from the audience, but because of what these cars have been blessed with. You will see that happening because you see, what you've experienced happening here it's not tangible. It is not something that you can place a price on. It is priceless, but it is something that we have to continue to sustain. In short, the message that I have today is that do not underestimate or undervalue or doubt the power that you have. Gathered in this room today are some of the most powerful people in this country. Not because of any wealth they may have, but because they have the ability, using their talents, using their genius, to perform or to teach or to impart, to help children imagine and also experience and believe that they can experience an alternate future. So, ndiyacela ngokukhulu ukuzithoba ukubaze nihlale nimanyene ngoba kubalulekile ukuba impumelelo yale lento niyiqalile ebaluleke kangaka, for it to be successful is for you to be united in this purpose that you have, and hope that this unity in purpose will get you to where you want to go. Thank you very much.
He deserves more, ladies and gentlemen. More. More, especially that he did not mention the word I hate with my whole being. You know, whenever we have to attend or we have to go to government to talk about opera, the word Eurocentric, this, Eurocentric, that. Yeah, he did not say that word. The other thing that he did not say is the state captured? Oh, well, yeah. The next person that is coming up this podium and needs no introduction, absolutely no introduction. He epitomizes this space, not the Mercedes-Benz, this space in terms of the opera singing in Cape Town. He's done a whole lot of things for these singers that are coming here. But I'm going to just mention his name and the name of the person that comes after that. Perhaps I should have started with the person that comes after you, Prof. He holds a very interesting portfolio. Water and sanitation portfolio. I'm trying to put the things together. How does it fit here? The person that has just spoken to us is a chief director of arts and culture. That I understand. I'm sure you're going to help me, whether here or when we have a set of other drinks, understand how water and sanitation gets into this mix. But the person that will be speaking after Professor Gobato will be the person that answers to that portfolio. The name is Lulu Johnson. And they will be speaking Ian Namekar, one after the other. Omnye emva komunye, omunye emva komunye emva komunye. All right. Can we please welcome onto the podium Professor Angelo Gobato? I go on stand a bit. We can make more noise. We can make more noise.
Good evening, everybody. I really wasn't expecting to be here addressing anybody tonight. All I feel is very Mandala. And, you know, Mandala people live on memories. It's all they've got. And I wrote a book about memories. So if you'll forgive me, I would like to read just a few pages from this book. It's a chapter which was called Changing Times. It says, I'm sure that for all South Africans, the most memorable event of 1994 was the election of Nelson Mandela as the first Black president of the Rainbow Nation, following the first democratic elections held on the 27th of April. I certainly remember standing excitedly in a long queue next to my equally excited longtime domestic worker, Roslina Lupuwana, who had dressed particularly elegantly for the occasion, waiting to cast our votes. But from a professional point of view, obtaining the approval of the Cape Hub board to form the Cape Opera Studio, coupled with the formation of the Opera Choral Training Program, must surely count as the most significant event in my whole operatic career. So many factors came together in 1993 to help create these groups that I can only believe that a higher power was guiding my steps. I can only pray that this force, which demonstrated such affection and passion for opera then, will continue to guide opera in our country through its many difficulties. If I carry on reading the book, and I do hope that some of you will buy it and pass it on, and let younger people read it, I mention some names some important names that helped give body to these early ideas of proving to people that opera was not Eurocentric, that opera didn't belong to only one particular race in South Africa, that Cape and the Nikomalan could be transformed into something new. Sibongile Ngoma, who I remember singing a most beautiful rendition of When I Am Laid in Earth at the Spear Festival, for example. Abel Motsoadi in those days, Motsoeng now, uh, Fikile Vinjelva, who is off to New York again, singing at the Met. Marcus de Sando, who has progressed from singer to director to member of funding companies. And the people that were involved in creating these first works, you've seen many of them here. I can honestly believe that they are my little grandchildren. I'm too old to call them my children. They are certainly much younger, and it's up to them to keep opera going in the future. If it's Township Opera, so be it. It's a wonderful idea. You need to be creative. You need to do something different. You need to bring life to this art form, which is a very old art form, but which belongs with its passion for combining music, drama, and visual spectacle to the whole world. So may I send my greatest congratulations to Lungiwe for thinking up this scheme, for people that are buying into it and assuring you that they need all our support, because this is really something that is important. I would like to finish only with one comment. Somewhere in this book, I write in the introduction that opera is a strange word. Opera can be seen as something absolutely wonderful, or it can arise a reaction of yuck. Opera does not belong to everybody. Art does not belong to everybody. The Mercedes doesn't belong to everybody. It belongs to people, A, that can afford it, and B, that have a passion that can only be fed by giving life to this kind of work. Poetry, painting, literature, each of these have a place in our cultural universe. We must understand this, and we mustn't make the mistake that unfortunately politicians are forced to make, which is majority rules. Majority cannot rule in opera. Quality is what rules in opera, the same as quality rules with Mercedes. And tonight you've heard quality, and they will continue to achieve quality and share it with our wonderful community. Thank you very much.
Mr. Lulu. It is Mr. Lulu. Mr. Ne? Lulu. Are you sure that's a gentleman's name? Mr. Lulu, just ladies and gentlemen, please welcome him to the podium. Water and sanitation, Menier?
I'm used to be a Miss Lulu at times. At times, I am also a colored or a white person, just by following Lulu Johnson. This other day, we are in Kimberley, 1993, there is Paulo Jordan, there is Phoebe Potgieter, there is Mani Tipicho introducing some of us. You see, the ANC takes a serious interest, in promoting colors. There is a Lulu Johnson. And by that time, I wouldn't have even spoken, or rather been speaking Afrikaans, until I went to prison. And then I learned Dangiek. You'd be surprised, Prof, when you say in politics it is about majority rule. It is about quality in that majority. Some of us would wish to think that I'm now speaking like a politician. I am not. I'm a political activist. Thank you, sir. I listened also to the program director, the chief director of Arts and Culture introducing me. To an extent, I even had to confess to the chairperson of the Committee on Arts and Culture that I've been wrongly introduced as an Arts and Culture Committee chairperson. The prof or the program director has since corrected that. But I can also safely say water and culture are not far apart from each other. You have some melodic sounds of water that could easily be your musical, items. I'm sure some of us who have those water fountains next to their bedrooms at night, or live in some fortunately living in close by some sea waters, the sounds that come out of that. For some of you who are in music, would easily be creative to come up with those. The slogan of those that are in water and sanitation is as follows: water is life, and sanitation is dignity. So as you talk about water being life, you talk about literally anything that has to do with the water. You'd certainly be able to identify whether you're talking about culture, you're talking about arts, you're talking about anything as you can think of. You wake up and you know more than I do out of your own experiences, there is no water in the morning. What happens to you? You get so disorganized. There are no words to express how overwhelmed one is. That's the language we always talk about. It is spoken language. And yet somebody in the process is expressing the words. And also in language, you also find yourself having to talk in third person. The choristers, the style, the perfect venue that forces Mercedes-Benz to be a partner for as long as Township Opera Company exists. That forces Mercedes-Benz. It's a beautiful venue, I must say. You sit there at the back. Lungile was say, sit there in front. It's beautiful to sit at the back and observe, how things are. The audience, you guests, whom this function couldn't have been without you. You just can imagine. There are empty chairs here, 3 or 4 people. Clearly, the organizers would have been so worried. Thanks to you for having been here. Thank myself. But one thing that I can tell you is that you are a gorgeous crowd, I must say. Just listening and coming through here, and I can safely say that I'm in a company I'm in a perfect company of choristers. You know, when you attend any traditional function anywhere, in this case in my home, you all become ohlati. So you are indeed a perfect, I am indeed in a perfect company of ohlati, the choristers, who all are choristers as we are here today. Lungile, make us all to be ohlati, the choristers we are. The passion is expressly demonstrated through melodious chords of men and women. Bring that art and culture down to where it belongs, among the young and old, among the white and black, among the rich and poor. Music continues to express different stages in development and evolution of our societies. The slaves would sing, sing low, sing cheerio, and it goes on and on and on. Now, as you sing today, being that worker, somebody out there would be saying, hey, you are so happy. Yet the slaves, when they would have been singing back in the days, this would have been an expression of protest on their part, trying to see as to how best they can really find themselves at ease with what they were going through, to a point where as music evolves over time, over generations, informed obviously by those conditions at the time, those that are on the other side of the music being sung would be saying, hey, they are having fun. And yet the revolution shall be mounting. The song sung at the time, you know, Abelung, oh dim. Abelung, oh dim. Basabi is oh dim. Now, this other employer listening to that is listening to these workers who are really happy at work without understanding that it is coming through to them. So that's what music shall have been doing over times. Culture and art evolves informed by socio-economic material times and conditions in reflecting the dynamics and the relevance of the times. We have been talking with Lungile at some point about a need to record those musical items sung in different stages and evolutions in society, in struggles, because the songs would have been reflecting a particular moment, a song that shall have been sung at the time people would have been, you know, literally finding themselves in situations where they are helpless, you know, Senzenina, Senzenina. This is a song that you immediately attach to those that were there in the 70s, informed by that condition. Your black people who found themselves in situations where they were hard pressed. With time in the 80s, siya yepitoli, siya ya, siya, siya. This is the momentum that is building, again informed by a specific period of time in the history and the evolution of our music and our society. Keep it up, Lungile, and your team, and never be defeated in your dream. On a personal note, our father at home did it until his last breath. He was a Lungile. There at church, Bantu Church of Christ, and also out there in our township, New Brighton, where I come from. My last personal note would talk to a team of choristers that saved my life in a street called Grattan Street in New Brighton, where the two special branch literally were arresting me When I hear of melodies, kwenye ihanga, ziyaphumela ihanga ezinye aziphumeli phaa eNew Bright. At night around 9 o'clock, you are Lulu Johnson. No, I'm not. He's my cousin. And then there were two pistols left and right here. And clearly something was to happen bad on my part. Until yourselves, choristers, emerged from Kleachanga, Yase Gratin. As soon as one of them appeared, did I never run for my life, leaving the two special branch fellows literally shy to chase after me, because it would have been so clear that they were up to no good. On that note, let's enjoy and have fun as brothers and sisters. Thank you.
Just one little announcement. Thank you, Comrade Lulu Johnson. I almost said Amandla. Almost did. I just need to just check this out. If KK Kombi, Mr. KK Kombi is in the house, could I just get an indication, please? Okay. On that note, I would also like, I was not told to acknowledge these people. Please do not be mad at the organizers of the function. As I'm sitting there, I'm looking around. I saw Elise and a few colleagues from Cape Town Opera. I want to acknowledge you. I saw Albert Combring. Is he still here? Just a little wave would be appreciated. Yes. Oh, just again to note, ladies and gentlemen, this function is streamed live on YouTube. Yes, I'm a levels. It's streamed live on YouTube. I'm going to sit down now and shut up and let the music speak.
The universe itches at the soles of her resilient feet with its persistent requests. Step by step, she treads tactfully towards the accomplishment of each without a sigh in sound. Even when her shoulders emulate the shape of her burdens, the corners of her eyes crease with a smile whenever she's greeted by the innocence of her kind. Her arms welcoming, her intellect provocative, her tongue gentles enraged hearts, and her beauty silencing. Grown men break into infant tongues in her presence. Clumsy over her supremacy, many have competed and all have self-ridiculed in a quest for her opulence, yet priceless is her worth. Her love is nothing short of God. She seeks connection with every soul she meets, found love first before knowing who she was. In random tragedy, she learns hard lessons. Through loss of many sentimentals, gains internal sharpening, and with life's surprising schooling, steps the world with a little bit of wisdom. Her footprints unravel mystery. Her word speaks comprehension, and her exchange revives consciousness. Like stitches in assembly on a quilt, every encounter is history recorded as she journeys with all the living's aspirations, dreams their success, mourns their loss, cries their tears, and fights for the feeble-minded one's sanity. It is this essence of women that propels the world to dreams fulfilled, gives birth to characters of excellence, cultured minds, conquering attitudes, and celebrated spirits. because hers has always been blessed with the power of building not only a home, but also a nation. She is the perfect poetry lovers seek. She is woman, a victor, not a victim. Uyinsika yesizwe.
Das Herz mir ein. Liebt mich, es ist klar. Ich würde glücklich sein. Mir ist so wunderbar. Es singt das Herz mir ein, es singt das Herz mir ein. Liebt mich, es ist klar. Ich würde glücklich sein. Mir ist so wunderbar.
Mir fällt's kein Zweifel sein.
C'est d'ivrer, c'est de gérer, c'est n'être las cajou. Puis violere ou l'oplere, le baisser dans l'amour. Le bonheur, puissant je vais vivre dans ces rêves qui m'ont